Wow. You know what? This is going to be a very transparent production, folks. What works will work, and what doesn't will not. Now, but you're seeing me in all my crazy glory, or lack thereof. Timber! Hang on a second. Oh, I love it when a plan comes together. Soupy Sales would just have loved this moment. Okay, so for those of you who can hear me, Alex Simmons here. I'm in my questionable, well-fortified creative den where I, do most of my crazy work, all my writing and so forth. And my backdrop just fell, which is why you can't see me at the moment, because I'm putting everything back together. Okay, I think I'll be able to come on air in a moment. And if not, gee, what have you missed? It's 7:58. Hey, there I am. Okay. Ooh, and things are happening here. Let's see. People are calling me. I'm going to try and do Facebook in a moment. Let's see. Who just rang me here? Matthew, John, Tim. Yeah, I've sent all this stuff out. Can't tell. I don't know how Google Hangout works, but it's just no. I mean, I know how Google Hangouts works, but I'm not quite sure how. Going online now, I will try to join you. Oh, this is Scott. So Scott Hanna, ooh, who's this? Walden. Walden, I don't hear you. Walden, is your microphone on? Walden? Well, that's Walden Wong there. That's his symbol. Walden Wong is one of the wonderful inkers who worked on Blackjack back in the day. In the early days, when I was just getting all this together, just making this happen. And hopefully Walden will be able to join us in a moment. But either way, Walden, I see your symbol. I'm going to come back to me, because you can see my face. Walden, I see your symbol, and hopefully you're going to be able to join us. But right now, it looks like your microphone is mute. Let me try this again here. I don't want to mute your mic. Nope, see, it's muted now. Now it's not. Turn up the volume. Well, if you're there, Walden, at some point, somehow, you'll join us, okay? Or maybe I'll throw on the chat here and you can write to me. We'll throw on chat as well. Let's see. Let's pop that in there. Okay, Matthew is there. Walden Wong here. So, Walden, write to me because I cannot hear you. Okay. Anyway, for everybody else who's come on board, and I'm going to try and do something with Facebook at the same time. I'm going to try and multitask here. Alex Simmons here, strange man that I am. I'm the writer, creator of Blackjack. I'm one of the writers now because my friend Chris Ryan and a couple other people have have offered, given up, shared their particular scribe-like talents with my character over the past few years. 25. That's right. This is, this year is the 25th anniversary of the publishing adventure of Blackjack. And I'm going to go into that a little bit more. Walden has joined the group. Walden has left the group, but Walden's joined the group again. Walden, I still can't hear you. I'm hoping that someone else will join us and I can see if it's me. If for some reason I seem to have all the volume up. So I'm not quite sure. But anyway, I'll keep talking. So as I was saying, this evening, I'm hoping a number of people are going to join us. I've invited Steve Ellis, Walden Wong, John Jennings, Scott Hanna. Oh, well, there's Scott. Scott?
Hello, yes.
I can hear Scott. Yes. Okay. Okay.
I got it.
Scott Hanna in the house. Okay. And Scott, I don't know. I'm going to throw a symbol up here. That's Walden Wong right there. Except we can't hear Walden. Oh, now we just lost him. I think he's going to try and chime in again. But anyway, there you are.
Okay, actually, I'm going to take a quick break and go get my headphones because usually when there's lots of people, if you don't have headphones, it can get echoey.
You know what?
Right.
I'm going to do the same thing. I have these right here. I'm going to put my headphones on, and you go do that. You come on right back whenever you're ready. So, like I said, oh, gee, we got a great view. Scott has a stove in his house. Man, it's really cool, rustic. Where's the wood? Do you have like firewood and everything?
It's actually a coal stove.
That's a pot-bellied
So I
stove.
usually put coal.
I'm impressed.
That's in my city. Here, I'll show you my work table.
Oh, okay.
So that's my work table.
Yep, I see it in the back. I see it in the back there. That is so cool.
So I have my classroom in this
You're
room.
going in and out, Scott.
This is where I live. About.
Oh, I see what it is. You're moving your laptop and your signal's bouncing, so your computer is freezing on you, or at least delayed.
Okay.
Okay, there you are. There you are. You know what? I'm also gonna pull up somebody's buzzing me on the phone here. I'm multitasking, Scott. I have my phone here. I have my tablet, which I'm gonna try and keep track of the Facebook stuff. And whoever is contacting me on my phone is probably my co-producer, which is my son, Matt. Wait, so who's this? Oh, it's Eric Battle. Alex, whenever you can, patch me into, so Eric's on the phone here. So I'm going to say, Eric. Eric, yeah, I'm trying to dictate here. So let's see. Eric, I just sent you a link via Google Hangout. Do you see it? Period. Actually, it should have been a question mark, but what do I know? So anyway, so while that's happening, I'm going to try and pull up. I set up a folder on my desktop of really cool blackjack artwork from the millennias, and this.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna show. Okay, so here we go. We're going to share. I got to talk through all this because otherwise I'll forget a step. So I'm going to go share here, and the screen comes up, and there's the artwork. Oh, I just lost it. Just as the screen came up, I lost the artwork. Where'd it go? Hang on, I'm going to go back. Go back here. Okay, let's start again because I had it. Yeah, okay, there's the artwork, and then I'll close this just in case my computer is saying, you're overworking me. Then we'll do this, and there it is. And I will share. So can people see that? Oh, it would help if I put my screen on. There you go. So Scott, that's Scott Hanna's work. And Scott, how many years ago did you do that?
Too many. I don't even remember the date time ago. But it was so fun because I actually researched the 1936 Berlin Olympics. I was looking at footage. I was
Scott, you're going in and out. You're going in and out.
Can you hear me?
I can now, but when you were talking, which was great, you were talking about how you researched the 1936 Olympics and everything, but you're working in Olympics. So I know the story, but I wanted everybody else to hear.
Okay, sorry about that. I'm looking for a microphone thing, and I can't find it on my screen.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, I think Tim Fielder's joining us too. I'll have Tim up in a moment, but go ahead. Yep, there he is. Good. So anyway, so that's Scott's artwork. So go ahead, Scott. You were saying?
Well, I was saying that I was actually really happy to see they just did that phenomenal movie about Jesse Owens in the Olympics, which is supposed to be when this segment is based upon. So one of these days, we're still going to get that story told.
Yeah, well, we'll get to do this story for sure, and I hopefully it will get a little bit. It'll be out in the world a little bit longer than the movie that you're talking about, which is called Race. Which is I only got to see the trailer. Literally, it hit the theaters and disappeared. So obviously, that's how fast Jesse could run. It was like right through the theaters. It was re-released in Europe like 3 months later, and then disappeared again. So I don't know quite what to say, except that okay, they did their version, and we will most certainly get to do ours. But yeah, that was Scott's work. And I want to say hi to Tim Fielder. There you are, Tim.
How's it going?
Fine. Look up at us and smile. You handsome dog. You. There you go.
I'm sorry. I am in the middle of deadline hell, and trying to. I'm sorry. I think did I? Oh, there he is. I thought I was like, hey, did I? Yeah.
No. Scott started to say something to you, and again he blipped out. So that's so. Scott Hanna's here. Say hi to Scott.
Hey, Scott. What were you about to say, Scott?
I just said I know the feeling about deadline hell. I'm there right now too. So.
Yeah. And that is where I am. I'm trying to finish Maddie's Rocket. I got to do some stuff for a paper, and then I got to finish more work on Prison City. So
wait a minute. So okay. So now he just threw all that away, and before we go quickly to what he's done for Blackjack, what the heck is Maddie's Rocket? What the heck is Prison City? Yes, I know, but other people may not. So go ahead, Tim.
I'm Maddie's Rocket. I'm working on issue 3 of Maddie's.
What is it? What is it?
Oh yeah, Maddie's Rocket is a retro futurism story about a space pilot named Maddie Waddy, who is a black female pilot who has adventures in an alternative 1930s, 1940s past with Buck Rogers type, Flash Gordon type characters with Jim Crow elements in it, kind of juxtaposed with history.
Right. And you have a Maddie. Do you have a Maddie on Diesel? Can you throw up an image?
Sure. And matter of fact, I will give you guys a preview of an image that I'm working on right now, so you can see your screen. So what I will do here is I will come down. This is the first time anyone has seen this image. I am doing presently the opening sequence, which always starts with a flashback of Maddie when she's older. And the image starts with, that is the storyboard. This is the 3D render. It's screwed up again. Hold on, sorry about that. That is the storyboard.
We're gonna have challenges here tonight for sure.
No, we're good. Can y'all see that full screen?
No, not at all. You haven't shared the screen with us.
Okay. Oh, I thought I shared the screen. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just seeing you.
That's right. I should probably hit the button share. Anyway, I am screen sharing, so now we should be able to. So can you all see Bridge now? Can you see Bridge?
Yes, and we see something with the marching ants.
All right, good. So we're going to go here, and let's see. You can see it now, right?
Yes, we can.
So that is a storyboard from Maddie's Rocket. This is a 3D model render that I use. And then we actually have the finished piece. So can you all see it full screen now?
You can see the sketch now full screen, yes.
Right. So I start off with a sketch, and then I build my models in 3D like this.
Wow.
And then I do my paint over like that.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. Okay. And I'm just going to say, because we will mention how he's tied into Blackjack in a moment, but I'm glad you're showing us this because it will sort of give people an idea of how you accomplished what you did for me.
Yeah, Blackjack used a lot of 3D reference. I am a cheater. I believe in the Wally Wood adage. If you have something, if you could copy it or trace it, or you should use it. So I'm a proponent of going to 3D models and downloading models and using them. And I've been doing 3D modeling and animation myself for about 20 years.
Wow.
So I do a lot of custom models as well when I need to. Hey, there he is. Hey, I know that guy.
That's Eric Battle.
Hey, that guy owes me money, man. Eric Battle owes me money, man. Look at it. That's why he's smiling. How you doing, brother?
He's laughing because there's no way you're going to get anywhere near that money.
Exactly.
How you doing, man? What's up?
I'm good.
Eric.
Hey, is there any way I can do can I do this from my desktop? Because right now this is on my phone.
Yeah, you should be able to go to your desktop, find the same email that you answered on your phone, and click, and that link will bring you to the same place. So you'll probably cut out now from this and rejoin us through your laptop or desktop, whichever it is.
So okay, that's all right. That's me.
Oh, okay. Well,
Okay.
yes, hang up your phone because
Can
you're
you
ringing
answer?
yourself. Hang up your phone and then just come at us. Missed call. So you're dialing me. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, you still there, Tim?
Yes, I am actually.
Tim, I see Scott. I feel like Romper Room. I see Scott and Tim and Eric. It keeps coming through as a phone call.
So you should answer that or what?
But I don't see how on my. Oh, no, it's not. See, he's coming through. Where is it? Keep ringing. I don't see where I can answer it. See, my phone is ringing.
Right.
Walden Wong just joined. Call video. Oh, hey, Walden.
Hey, Alex.
Hey, Walden. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Oh, we're fine.
This is working.
Yeah, no, we can see you, and right now we're trying to get Eric back in here. Eric, can you hear me? Yeah. Whatever it is, for some reason I can't answer it, and that may be my tech problem. I'm going to ask my son to think about it. I can hear it on my phone.
Right.
I'm going to stop it on my phone because that's just not doing anything. And hang on a second. And Walden, oh, did I lose Walden? Oh, we had Walden there for a moment. Now he's gone.
Eric, you see that link that just came up?
Where now? No, I'm looking at my desktop.
Okay, if you look at your desktop, that says group chat.
Oh, wait. Oh, I see what's happened. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
That link that might take you to where you. Well, you're already on. That's it. You're good. I can see
on the phone.
No, this is. I'm on my phone, but it'll be easier if I can do it from my desktop.
So then, if you go to Google Hangouts, go to google.com. Are you on google.com?
Okay, wait a minute. Hold on. You know what? I can.
Walden's back. Everybody say hi to Walden.
Hey, Walden.
Hey guys.
Walden.
So, Walden, we got Scott Hanna on, Tim
Scott.
Fielder, Eric Battle, right? And you. I love it.
Very good.
Where are you, Walden? Are you in California?
I'm in San Francisco. I'm in my classroom right now.
You're in your classroom.
Yeah.
Oh, where is it? What classroom? As in you're a teacher or as a student?
Oh, teacher.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
what do you
I
teach?
Students how to draw. They come to my home.
Oh, what school is that, Walden?
No, it's my own home. I teach at my own home. I also teach at the academy.
So Scott, you and Walden are doing the same thing. Here's Scott. See?
Yeah, that's exactly what I've been doing for the past several years. I teach here in my home studio as well. So I actually had a private class today. I had 2 classes yesterday. And actually in my class, sorry.
Class that starts in half an hour, so I can do another half an hour.
Wait, now we've been trying to settle in the tech aspect of. We got Eric Battle in stereo now. I've got his face here on 2 different forms, so I'm trying to see which one it is. Eric, when you hang up your phone, I don't know which is. Oh, there you are. So hang up your phone because we're getting feedback. Please.
Yeah. That was bad.
We're still getting it.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, all right. I'm going back to Walden. You'll work it out. Oh, is that okay? Is that you now, Eric? Okay, I'm gonna let Eric work. He's working on it. We're gonna have Eric back in a moment. So Walden, you say you have to go in a half hour or less?
Yeah, I have a class that starts at well, my time is 5:15 right now. I'm 3 hours behind you guys.
Yep.
So I have a student coming at 5:45. So that's about half an hour.
Okay.
So I'll talk to you guys until he comes.
Okay. Well, then let me do this while you're here. First off, guys, everybody, thank you so much for joining. including the people who are watching, listening in, or however they go. And I'm getting messages here too. So like Stephen Harris is sending me a message here. I'm not sure if he's having trouble joining us or whatever, but you know, all of you were absolutely 100% responsible for making, you know, getting Blackjack off the ground. Walden, I think you worked on Blood and Honor. That was the first bit that
Yes.
you worked on. Yeah, because I started out with Joe Bennett, who everybody knows from all the things that he's done. But when when I met Joe, or when I started working with Joe back in the 1990s, Joe I think had done Captain America and a few other things, and he's in Brazil, and so I never actually got to see the man. But he did the first 3 issues, and then when I went to do Blood and Honor, I worked with several different artists. It was Gray, it was Ken Lashley, it was Chris Batista, Walden Wong, who came in. And I don't know how much you inked the book, but I know that you got a certain hefty portion of it.
I think it was, it was a while back, maybe 5, 6, 7 pages. I can't really remember exactly how many.
Yeah, well, you know, part of the problem was that we were late with the pencils, and originally I had it scheduled so that 1 or 2 people would ink the book. It was a graphic novel we were working on. We went from 4 issues to, the heck with putting them out as 4 individual issues. Let's just do a graphic novel, and maybe open the door to stores and more outlets. And what happened was we were late, and so we had to divide up what turned out to be a 96-page book among several inkers, and you were one of them, and it was great. I don't even remember what of your work I saw at that time, because, you know, we're talking how many years ago?
It was a lot. It's right when I started inking comics. Like, you were one of the first people that hired me, and I was working on a JLA at the time. So it was really early in the career. Like, I would think 18, 19 years ago, somewhere around there.
Yeah, wow. So yeah, I met Scott, you, and Eric right around the same time. I think, Eric, you were, see, I don't want you to think I forgot about you, bro. Eric, you were at a studio in Manhattan at that time, right? Can you hear me? We can't hear you. You have no microphone. Just sign for us. There you go. Okay, I'll talk while you figure out the sound. Eric was at a studio in Manhattan that involved Louis Small Jr. and Eric himself, Gray, and Stephen Harris were the ones I remember. There may have been 1 or 2 other artists working out of that space at that time. Just nod your head, Eric. No. Were there more people? Of course, whatever you say. If you got to figure out something. Okay, but anyway, Eric was there, so I met these guys. I met Walden, Chris Batista. I met a lot of really great people around that time, and like I said, Walden was one of beside from Joe Bennett, it was Walden and Rob Stull were the first inkers that I really approached on the project at that time. I'm sorry, I'm getting a message from, hang on a second. You guys talk among yourselves for a moment. I'm getting a message from Stephen. I want to see if he's having trouble chiming in. That was Stephen in the studio. Stephen was in the studio. You weren't in the studio, Eric? Oh, okay. Eric is saying he was not part of the studio, but I did meet you there. I'm thinking I did. All right, don't argue with me. It's my show. So Walden, what did after Blackjack, or while you were, I'm sorry, what did you start to say, Scott?
You created this whole thing anyway.
Yeah, well, yeah. There is that. But Walden, what else were you working on at that time?
I think it was New Warriors for Marvel. I can't really remember. It was a long time ago.
Well, that's true. Oh, so let's flip.
Sure it was. No, it was before then, because I was inking Jamal on New Warriors, and before.
Oh, the New Warriors. Yes.
Yeah, the New Warriors. So yeah, I think it was JLA. That was one of my first books with DC.
JLA for DC and New
Yeah.
Warriors for Marvel and Blackjack in between. I like that. We're in good company. And Jamal did a lot of work for us too. And what are you working on now?
Now, all new X-Men, and then Avengers Assemble. Some kind of Disney Panini project for Marvel Disney.
Oh,
And then for Marvel, it's the all new X-Men Monster Unleashed.
so you're not doing much, huh?
No.
You got a lot of free time on your hands here between teaching and doing like 4 or 5 books.
Scott's the busy one.
Well, okay, let's go to Scott. and I'm going to grab Tim in a moment here. So, Scott, what are you working on right now?
Well, I just got back from vacation, so I have a light schedule. I'm working on the Flintstones. Actually, I'm working on a Guardians of the Galaxy project and a Superman project.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. The Flintstones?
Yes, the Flintstones.
How did that happen?
It's actually a question I've always had in my career is, are you related to Hanna-Barbera? Which I'm not. But I finally, DC now owns the Hanna-Barbera library, so they're starting to do new versions of things like Scooby-Doo, the Flintstones, and so it's the Flintstones, but it's not done in cartoon style like the old animated series. It's done kind of with a lot more detail, a lot more line work.
Wow. I think I just lost you. Oh, there you are. You're back.
So, still there?
Okay, we'll let that go. My son is telling Eric, I've seen the new Flintstone issues and they're fantastic. Eric just typed that and sent that, I think, on Facebook. Eric left the group, but he's back. That's good. He left chat. So, Scott, Eric loves your work. Let me go to Tim. Tim, what's that you got up there?
This is Eric Battle's work. I am toning his images because why the hell not? I am toning this absolutely gorgeous line work from this Blackjack story featuring, I believe, Aaron's sister. And while I'm here, I'm just going to be sketching away and toning and adding a few highlights and then popping a little sepia tone on there and making it happen.
You know, I got to thank you for that, Tim. Eric did. Okay, so quick history for everybody who doesn't know anything about Blackjack. Aside from him being an African-American soldier of fortune, 1930s, you know, globetrotter, adventure, and all of that, you know, and as a black man in 1930s, so he has a few additional challenges other than Dr. Jones. I didn't want him just to be this lone black man out there with a gun and doing, you know, the John Shaft thing. I wanted him to have family scenario that he had to deal with in some way. And because his parents are already gone, they're dead. And that's another story, and you have to read Blood and Honor to learn more about it. Or Second Bite of the Cobra, plug. I wanted him to have some family connection. And so Aaron's older sister, Mary, she's returned to the United States as he did after their parents died. And instead of staying in New York and so forth, she went to live in the Southwest. And there's a whole story about why she chose to go there, why she chose to live in the South, period, and all of that. And the first visual story I did of her is this lone 6-pager that Eric drew in pencil beautifully and existed for, what, Eric, 10, 12 years without inks? You can nod your head because I still can't hear you. Oh, no, still can't hear you. But you did it somewhere in the 90s, was it? Yeah, okay. And I'm going to show something else that Eric did in a moment, so don't go away, Eric. But anyway, so Tim, can you pull back just so we can see the whole page for a moment? So this is one of the pages. His sister Mary, you know, raised under the similar circumstances to Aaron. You know, father was a mercenary also. The family traveled around the world with him, and they would stay in a city or a village or something somewhere, you know, fairly near where he was in whatever the turmoil he was caught up in. And so Mary is, you know, she grew up learning to take care of herself, you know, running with her brother, exploring. but she chose a different life. But I didn't see her as sort of a household, becomes a wife and raises children and nothing, extraordinary happens beyond that. I wanted her to have some challenges too. So this one particular story takes place in the town she lives in. She lives in the black area, but it's on the border of the poor white area. And something happens in this town. And really just the way Eric went at it with the pencils and so forth, it was delicate. You didn't want to just put anybody on it. And then at a certain point, to be real, money ran out. So I couldn't hire, someone like Scott or Walden to do the work. And so it sat for a number of years uninked. And finally, I think Eric did a page, and then again, time and other businesses got in the way. And then finally what we have now is Tim, because Tim has all this time on his hands. Tim went and decided to start working on it. So as he said, he's doing this airbrush and stuff. Oh, everybody say hi to John Jennings.
Hey.
John is in the house. John, we got Eric Battle, Scott Hanna, Walden Wong, and Tim Fielder online.
Wow. Hey guys, how you doing?
And why else would I call this Blackjack Nights, huh?
Right.
Why else would I do that? I also have to remember to send an invite to a friend of mine whose name is David Colley, and he's in England, and he wanted to be a part of this too. So I've just sent him an invite. So he's going to join us at some point. I know some of you can't stay long anyway. So as other people come in, others will drop out. But I was just saying, we were talking about what Tim is doing right now, which is putting some tone on Eric's. Tim did the inks. How did you do this, Tim?
Eric did the inks. I stole his work, and then I put a tone layer on top, and now I'm just using a little the tried and true dodge and burn. You will see this technique used heavily in upcoming works, and that's what I'm doing. And I'm just trying to give it a little tone here, and then I'm going to go in with my highlights while we're here talking.
Okay. One of the things, and again, this is so much fun here, but I know Walden only has a certain amount of time. So Walden, one of the things I wanted to ask, because I know you have to go soon, I wanted to ask you, why did you choose to do Blackjack? I mean, you were working on stuff for DC and things like, why on earth did you, listen to this guy who, at that time of any kind that I can recall?
Well, I met you at a convention. You were at a booth, and then I said, "Hey, would you like to look at my portfolio?" And then later, there was this guy that walked up. Oh, let me introduce you to my friend, Michael Catula. I'm like, you know Michael Catula? He's like, okay, this guy's serious. You're gonna work with Alex.
It's funny. One of the cool things that was happening, and I'll do this very quickly. When I was 18, back in the covered wagon days, I knew a number of people. And Don McGregor was one of my good friends, and he was at that time working for Marvel. So I got to go up to see him at the Marvel offices, and I got to meet Stan Lee. I got to meet Stan Lee, Johnny Ramita, Marie Severin, all these people. And then over the years of doing the cons, I got to know Mike Kaluta and Archie Goodwin and all these really talented people. So it was funny when I finally started doing comics myself, there was already a relationship that I had where I could walk up and say hi to certain people. And still, when I met you, Walden, I was looking at your work, and I was coming at it from, I've created this property, I'm looking for talented people, I saw your work, yes, you were talented, here. But it didn't occur to me that introducing you to anybody else was going to do anything other than, hey, would you like to meet this guy? Because he's cool and you're cool. And that's sort of the way I function. I like knowing good people. That's just pretty much what it is. So
yeah, I still remember that. I was still new, wet behind the ears, and I didn't know anybody. And then here you are introducing me to Michael, and I'm like, wow, it's unbelievable.
Oh, well, it's funny. Thank you. Do you know what's the guy who was doing G.I. Joe? Michael Beck. Was it? something Michael Beck. I'm forgetting his first name. It's something Michael Beck. But he did G.I. Joe for Marvel. John, do you know what I'm talking about?
G.I. Joe? Huh.
Yeah.
I know Mike Zeck. I didn't.
No, it's Michael, something David Michael Beck. That's it. David Michael Beck. He did G.I. Joe for a while. He was doing the covers and things like that. He's a painter. And we were at the San Diego Comic-Con one year, and I was in the cafeteria area, and I see coming down the way towards the cafeteria area this man in a wheelchair, and he's being pushed by a couple of young people, and I recognize him. Now you got to understand, he's wearing these bright white Bermuda shorts and this electric blue short sleeve shirt with white suspenders. And so, I mean, he really catches your eye, right? And it was Ray Bradbury.
Huh.
And I'm thinking, whoa, you know, this guy is one of the people that influenced me so much that I wanted to become a writer. So I wanted to go up and talk to him. So I don't want to just walk up there, you know, gushing and everything and interrupt him. And I figured, you know, he was trying to get a bite to eat before he did a presentation. So I went to one of the people who was helping him, and I said, look, you know, I really would love to just speak to him for a quick moment, tell him how much he meant to me, you know, in terms of inspiring me. And as I'm saying this, the young man I'm talking to looks at me and goes, "You're Alex Simmons, right?" I'm thinking, yeah, right. I'm figuring, you know, he looked at my tag or something. He goes, "Man, I read Blackjack, man. It's really great and everything." So I'm going, "Oh, cool." Right? He says, "You know, I'd introduce you to Ray, but my associate who's handling him, she's really tough and she's really hard and she's really protective." And while he's saying all that, she circles us, what's going on. And she stops after she does this circle, and he turns to her and he says, "Look, so-and-so, this is Alex Simmons." She goes, "Oh, I know Alex." And I'm thinking, okay, I don't get drunk and black out, so I don't remember her, right? And she says, "Alex, when you started doing Blackjack, you did these articles in Wizard on how to self-publish, and I used to read them and I used to write to you." And I'm thinking, "Did you use your real name?" She goes, "No, I used my handle." I said, "Well, how would I know you?" Right? So she says, "No, come on." And they introduced me to Ray Bradbury. So it was this circle of people that influenced me and helped me become what I wanted to do. This was now paying back, you know, because I put out Blackjack, they liked it, and that's why, boom, I was able to meet Ray Bradbury. So then when I walked over to David Michael Beck afterwards, I said, "Wow, I just you know, met Ray Bradbury. I just got to thank him for everything." He says, "Ray, you know Ray Bradbury?" I said, "Yeah, it's the guy over there." He said, "Oh man, he's a favorite of mine." I said, "Well, come on over." I brought him over, introduced him. And for the rest of that day, just like you were saying, Walden, for the rest of that day, he kept telling me, "This guy introduced me to Ray Bradbury." But you know, that's the cool thing about the business that we're in. And who the heck is this, by the way? Can you hear us? Hi, I'm looking. Yeah, you can hear. Right. Okay, we still can't hear you.
Yeah,
though.
I was like, who? That's not Eric.
No, Eric is right there, but he's not. Better looking than Eric, actually. But I don't know who that. Yeah, there you go. Eric's over there. Okay. Well, there's John. There's John. But you know, again, meeting all these great people. Our industry has that over rock, you know, over music concerts and certain film celebrities and everything, because you can meet all these really talented, wonderful people. And if they're cool, which some of them are, you get to talk to them, and they're happy to hear that they influenced you or that they helped you or inspired you or whatever. So, Walden, I'm glad you were moved by that introduction. For you, I will. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it was breaking up.
Oh, sorry about that. I must have gotten too enthusiastic. I was saying that if I can ever introduce you to somebody else that you want to know, I will be happy to do that.
Oh, I see. Thank you. No,
You're welcome.
Being introduced to Michael was a big deal. I mean, even to this day, every time I think of Michael, I think of you. So
that's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's positive. Let me switch over for a second to John, because you know I want to give him a chance to say howdy to everybody and tell us what's up, because I know you're tired, bro.
You know, actually, I had this thing called a nap. I don't know if you're familiar with it. I was like, oh yeah. Oh yeah. So I'm a lot better. So I'll probably stick in for a while. You know.
I got to pull up something that John did, but
I was actually doing that too.
Yeah, but before you do that, I want to show something that Eric did. Eric, you got to get back on camera for a moment, because everybody, I'm going to show you something that Eric and I did together. So I'm going to do this and share, and hopefully everybody can see it. Eric, recognize that? He's not on screen. Yeah, I just nod for him. Okay, this is Eric and I. Thank you. Eric and I had the opportunity to, for a year, thanks to the lovely and wonderful Amy Lago, we had the opportunity to work on the Tarzan strip. And I think to date, I'm not sure, but I think to date, Eric and I are the only African-American team to work on the Tarzan property. I got to write it, and he got to illustrate it. Thank goodness it wasn't the reverse. But, you know, so I had to come up with a story where Tarzan, who was present day in the strip, wound up meeting Aaron Day, which is 1930s. So, you know, it became this sort of bizarre, is it really a time traveling thing? Did that really happen? Blah, 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 blah kind of story. But this is one of my favorite pages or favorite segments from, I think it was a 12, no, it was a 20 issue, 20 strip thing. I'll do the count later. But this is one of my favorites. Tarzan and Blackjack are caught and tied up and shackled and chained and all of that good stuff. And obviously, you know, in terms of strength and you know, the hero honor and determination and passion, they break free. And I think, going political for a split second, it's another reason why I like this shot is because, yeah, you know, we can work together. And I think one of the things that this little evening with you guys also reminds me of very strongly is my belief that people, good people, I don't care where they come from, can work together and accomplish any number of things, you know, and it's just a matter of working with good people. So Eric, thank you for the work that you did on this. And I know at some point, somehow, some way, we will actually get to work together again, and that's for darn sure. So I'm just going to pop back out of that. I just wanted to share that moment, and I'll go back to John after I take a quick peek at the pretty lady again. Hi there. Did you bring enough for everybody? Okay. So John, there you are, John. Then I'm going to go to Scott, who's got some artwork he's going to show as well, some blackjack art he did. But John, so you were saying you took this thing called a nap?
Yeah. It was great, and yeah. So just a little bit of one, you know, to get me through. I was up late working on syllabi for this new professorship, you know, out west, and you know that it seems like, well, all the class stuff is due tomorrow, so that's why I was up working late. You know, we you know how it is. We always burn the midnight oil. So
yeah, I the 3 a.m. oil for most of us, because midnight.
Yeah, that's how it was.
It was kind
of brutal.
By the way, this is one of John's pieces here. I'm going to put up here while you're talking, John.
Yeah, I just pulled up a bunch of stuff too.
Oh,
so,
then let me. I threw up one of my favorites, but you know that's
this is definitely one of my favorites. That's why I love that image. Even though I did it, so but no, I mean I think it's a cool image. You know?
So, well, I'm glad you like your work. I think so while you're let me let that go, and you can pull up the images you want to share. And while you're doing that, I want to ask you, why the heck did you work on Blackjack?
Well,
because it's not like you don't have anything else to do.
Yeah, because I was actually going to lead with something like that. I was like, yeah, because I don't have anything that I need to be working on.
John is an illustrator, a graphic designer, and a professor, as well as a museum curator and a husband, and just a number of other things. So he's a neat guy. Yeah, put a lot of time on his hands. I'm sorry, John. Go ahead.
Yes, I just thought that the character had like so much potential, and I thought it was an amazing character development for Blackjack. I mean, I think that the notion of a swashbuckling character from that era was just really brilliant, and I think it's definitely like one of the most important IPs of the Black Age of comics, you know, and I was honored to do some work on it. Now, mind you, like you said, I was like tremendously busy, but I did manage to do some work on a comic strip called Heart of Evil, right? Mm-hmm. And then we did a bunch of posters together, as far as like which I'm showing, like one of them right here, actually. I don't know.
This second bite of the Cobra. That's your version of that, which is
right. I see it. Y'all see that? I'm sorry. It's
Yeah,
just
everybody can see that, right?
yeah. I'm looking because my screen looks odd. But anyway, yeah. But I get. All right. Cool.
Scott can see it. Walden, are we about to leave, Walden?
Yeah, that's my student. I gotta go.
Okay, Walden, say goodbye.
Bye, guys.
Everybody,
Good
Walden,
to see
thank you so
everyone.
much, man. Really, really, really thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. Take care.
All right.
Bye.
Yeah. So
Wait a minute. Let me get back to you, John. There you go.
Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah. So I'm just kind of clicking through these really quickly. There's some portraits and things of Aaron. But yeah, but I was just attracted to the alternative history idea and the fact that we don't have enough characters that are set in that era. And I just thought it was just a wonderful notion of for an adventure strip. It's very, very much a throwback, and I kind of it resonated with me because when I was a kid, I would like listen to LPs of The Shadow and like Doc Savage, and I really love that aspect of the kind of proto superhero character, because I do think these comics are dominated too. I mean, I like superheroes, but I think that there's too many of them, and like I think, so I like the idea of these other genres being like, highlighted by Black artists. So thank you for letting me work on it.
Well, thank you, and then let me say thank you for working on it. It was a big project that we both took on, and we ran into just time crunches. I mean, and to be fair, John was not only handling a full-time job, but he had moved, so he'd relocated several states over. You had quite a lot on your plate at the time. So we didn't get to finish it, and I think we will, because Tim actually came up with a way to finish off the story so that it can at least get out there and people can see it. So I will do that.
Okay.
But it was the other funny thing is people used to say to me, because if you look at Tim's work and you look at John's work and you look at Eric's work, you see very different styles. And people would say, well, how come you don't just stick with one style with Blackjack? Or Blackjack should be only one look. You should only have it. And I said, really? How many variations of Batman have you seen?
Exactly.
Yeah. Folks are, yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah. So that's the reality of that. Oh, and it's funny. I took this illustration. This you did for the strip, for the comic strip that we were
right. Yeah, it was like the lead. It was one of the lead images that we would show when we were putting up different iterations of the story. And
right.
One of my favorite images of them because it captures that kind of flair of the 1930s. And, so we were doing like title cards, like those old school action movies,
Yeah. And I later used it for a project I was working on. It became part of a poster for a radio show.
Right, which is very apt, right? Because, the idea of like Blackjack as a radio show is really kind of attractive, right? Because it definitely speaks to that era,
Well, we've done a lot of things in terms of merchandising and here's where you saved my tuchus with buried secrets.
I feel I owed your tuchus, So it's like
wait a minute, I got to cut that part out.
Wait, did I say something wrong, Alex?
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Not at all. No, I love reputations like that. No, but one of the things that I see that so since we don't have sound, Eric has been writing via the chat on Google. So we have Ray Bradbury, amazing. She's the one who actually does the artwork. That's the pretty lady drinking the wine. Beautiful work, John, Eric is saying. And Alex, you need to send Steve an invite. I did. I sent him an invite, but I'll do it again. Let's see. Stephen Harris. Come on. And this should be N. Stephen. Well, wait a minute. Now, is he N. Stephen Stevens, N. Stephen 24, or N. Stephen? No, never mind. I'm just going to go find his email address and just use that, because Google's telling me there's like 6 different ways to contact him. But anyway, while I'm doing that, keep talking, John.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, you needed this cover done, and I had a little time to do it. So
the 24 hours, wasn't that what you did?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, something like that. But I like the idea of him. Actually, it's funny because when I originally talked, I wanted to actually do the spot illustrations for this story. You know, as I recall.
Well, yeah.
When we first
That's true. You did.
Never mind. Okay, anyway, so I'm back. But yeah, but no, that was some of the stuff I did. But you know, I was. It's been a great honor to work on the projects. You know, and
guys, I want to throw this question out there. You know, because the hour actually is going by quickly. But I wanted to ask and get everybody's reaction. I should have asked it earlier when Walden was on too. Blackjack, when I first created the character, and which was in the 80s when I first really came up with the idea, and it was the 90s, late 90s before we actually started pushing for publication, and eventually, you know, it made it out to the world. But you know, it was unique at that time in a lot of ways. There were a lot of things about what I did with the stories that hadn't been done, or the character hadn't been done, you know, at that time. There were certain things that had not been done. So I guess one of the things I'm wondering now is here, you know, it's 20 some odd years later, and the question is, as I'm working with Stephen, you know, with my friend Chris Ryan, I'm working with a few other people. I'm trying to figure out, do you feel that Blackjack still has any relevancy right now? And if so, really how? How does it fit in with the world that we're living in now, 20 some odd years after the fact?
Well, this is Tim talking here. I guess I'll say that, you know, as I have done
with the world that we're living in now, 20 some odd years. Whoa! I'm sorry. I seem to be. I didn't mean to. Hang on here.
We're in a time of displacement. Can
go
you
ahead,
hear me
Tim.
now?
Yes, go ahead. Now I can.
Yeah, I think, you know, from my perspective, Blackjack is important. In the world we're living in now, just as all black arts, depictions of black people are important, but Blackjack is especially important because even though it's an adventure piece, it's still very much a form of protest that a black man can literally fight his way out. And it's done in, of course, over-the-top fashion, particularly when I do it. You know, I make him overly muscular, you know, that type of thing, because we need now more than ever depictions of ourselves as heroes. And that's what Blackjack is. And as far as black IPs go, Blackjack is one of the earlier, which is kind of crazy to even think about, but one of the, even though it's contemporary in certain ways, but it's also been around long enough where it's actually it's an institution. And, you know, I'm happy to say I had a little bit under my belt. I got my Blackjack, you know, you know, I do what I do. And that's the importance of Blackjack. It's important that these things be shown, be done. You need to really gear up, particularly in the age we're in now. You're going to need more Blackjack is more important than ever.
Yeah, I have to agree. I think Tim just stole like my entire answer, actually.
Thank you.
That's the first thing.
I did that.
Thank you, Tim. No, seriously though, I mean, you know, like I said, one thing that's really unique about Blackjack is its attention to history, you know, and the importance of history. And that, you know, it's very easy for people to forget where they come from or forget the struggles that everyone in our country has had to endure to just exist, you know. And so I think that that erasure of history is something that Blackjack definitely has a resistant force to. And, you know, it's always important to see ourselves, you know, shown in as many different ways as possible. One of the things about capitalism is it always replicates, you know, things that are successful. And again, don't get me wrong. I mean, I love Iron Man, Doctor Strange, and all that good stuff. But I want to see a plethora of different types of expressions around experiences, you know, and you know, that kind of thing. And I want to see more black villains too. You know, so I want to see all of these different aspects of what it means to be human, because the more representations that we have, then the more ways that we resist that notion of how we become fixed as stereotypes. So I agree with Tim. I think that we really need to even push harder to get this work out, you know. And I think Blackjack is a great way to do that.
Thank you.
Excellent. For me, one of the things that drew me to this place is it totally felt like a very character that belonged. Always loved historical fiction. I love the history aspects, like you guys were saying. Love the different perspectives on history that we don't often enough. So this is an actor event allows that we haven't heard to hear. So that's one of the things. And actually, amazingly enough, my very first book at DC Comics was Doc Savage, which I think of that vein, and they're doing a new Doc
I'm sorry.
Savage movie.
Doing a new what?
I hope it's set during, Savage movie. I believe it's starring Dwayne Johnson.
Yes, my man who did Lethal Weapon, Shane Black.
Oh,
yes.
Shane. Okay.
Wait, Shane Black is doing a Doc Savage story?
Cool. Yeah, with Dwayne Johnson.
Yep.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay, that's gonna be great.
I have to say something funny here. Now that you brought that up, you've mentioned, because I didn't know. I think I'd heard something about Wayne being a part of a film, but I didn't realize that's what it was. Chris Ryan, my friend Chris, who wrote one of the new Blackjack rapid read novels or novellas, wrote one called Dark End of the Rainbow, and I'll pull up the cover in a moment. And I don't want to stop Scott what he was saying, but I just want to say that there's a Doc Savage reference in the story, and I'll mention it after you finish what you're saying, Scott. I just want to make sure that I ask you guys to remind me to do that. So go ahead. What were you saying, Scott? Did I lose you, Scott? Yep, we lost Scott. Oh, darn. I shouldn't have stopped him. So Scott will have to come back on at some point and finish what he was going to say. So I guess while I'm waiting for Scott to make it back, I'll just quickly say that the storyline Dark End of the Rainbow, let me get the title right, is a story that takes place, again, it's the 1930s. Blackjack stories are in the 1930s. I'm saying that for people who don't necessarily know the series. But Aaron Day, Blackjack, winds up in Los Angeles on the set of a major film that's being done at that time, known as The Wizard of Oz. And so he's brought into an adventure that involves that set, those characters, and murder. And because Aaron also functions as a bodyguard,
right? So
he's brought in to deal with that situation. And there's a number of references in there that will harken back to people who are Doc Savage friendly. There's a number of references in there that should be rather amusing to people who pick up on it. So I just wanted to say that. So Scott, are you back? No, my phone is ringing. That might be.
I dropped out for some reason shortly, but I think I'm back now.
Oh, okay. Yes, you are back. So there, I'm just showing quickly the cover for Dark End of the Rainbow by Chris Ryan. And this is Blackjack. This is Blackjack in Oz.
Also, just very quickly, I was scrolling through the steps that I did
good.
To do the cover. So
well, here, let me stop sharing and let me go to you doing that, Tim, because that's far more.
Well, you can keep talking. I'll just click through it. I just say the only thing I would say on this is I hate Munchkins, man. I really Go ahead. Continue.
No, I was just saying that, and what that sketch was that Tim was showing a moment ago, is he said to me, he has now said to me on numerous occasions, Alex, if you just do, what did he call it, thumbnails? If you just do the thumbnail layouts, I can work faster on the books or the covers or whatever. So that was me doing a thumbnail layout of what I saw the the wraparound cover to look like. And so Tim went from this faint gibberish to what you see there laid out, which is really, it's amazing what you guys can do, what you illustrators can really do. It's just, you know, the whole concept of taking an idea. When I talk to kids, I say this: taking an idea in your head and then fleshing it out to a finished product. I think we lost Scott again.
Sorry.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he keeps going out of the room. Okay. But anyway, so this is Tim's process for putting this cover together. So I wish I could hear Eric, you know, and I can't. I can see him though. Thank you. Oh, who's coming back now? You know, my phone keeps ringing, so I think people are sending me messages that way, but I'm not able to multitask that much. Next time I do this, we're going to have a control room, and we're going to have does the woman have her mic on? What woman? Talk to Walden now since he's leaving. Tell him to check the events. Oh, I see. So this is the lady in Eric's space. Does he have her mic on? No, she doesn't, Matt. Because she's not talking to us.
You're still not hearing me.
Oh, now I am. Yes.
Oh, you can hear me now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Yes, there you are. Yay, Eric.
It only took an entire hour. It only took the entire hour.
Well, again, I've lost Scott. He was talking, and then the moment he started to share, we lost him. So hopefully he'll find his way back. Tim was showing us the work on your work, Eric. So now that you are actually able to be heard,
yes,
would you like to say, I'd asked a question about Blackjack. Like I asked, why were you guys willing to work on Blackjack? And do you feel that, you know, what he had to offer way back then, but do you still feel he has any relevance now in the way the world is? So why don't you choose whichever one of those you want to talk about while Tim is working on your artwork?
Okay, well, my feeling is that it definitely has relevance now. I think, like John had said, especially given the present climate of the United States, you know, the things that are going on, we definitely need more representation. And given the time span of that all of this work has been produced over, it's just been a very impressive body of work that you've been amassing here, and to me it just goes to show that we have to set about creating stuff for ourselves, and that we've, you know, the Blackjack work that John has created, that Tim has created, and everyone else who's worked on your stories, you know, I think other people are paying attention. Mm-hmm. But with all of it, with anything, the work has to be done, and that, you know, the work has been getting done over these past number of years. It's just going to be really exciting for all of it to be shown. You know, as soon as you get as soon as possible. But the great thing is that the work is being done. It's impressive work all around, and it's just great to see that we've been able to work together as creative people to make this thing real. So,
you know, I have to say thank you for that, and say that, you know, I mentioned this earlier, and I don't know if you heard me say it, but really the work that we've done, and certain people who are not here tonight, like Liz Sheehan, Bill McKay, Chris Ryan, Sean Atkinson, Jamal, there's just a number of really remarkable people who, like themselves, helped make this possible. And it makes a statement about the art, it makes a statement about the character, but to me, it also really underscores the personal belief, and I said this earlier, the personal belief that when you get good people together, it's amazing what you can accomplish despite whatever the challenges are. You find ways around things, you find ways over things, through things. You don't let certain things stop you. And I think what we've managed to do over these years has really made me feel even more committed to certain personal beliefs that I have, let alone you know, whatever political or professional things that I try and live by. My son, Matt, who's also monitoring some of this, is reminding me that I'm supposed to ask you guys, since you said what you said about the relevancy of character, past to present, the question becomes, how do we go forward with this? What more needs to happen? What more can we do to get this out there? And I'll mention one thing in particular. We were talking, because we're looking right now at Tim working on Eric's material, and this is a story about Mary Day, Aaron's sister. And one of the things I've been trying to do is get together work that I've done about her, stories that I'm putting together about this woman who's living in those times and is also having her own particular dangerous encounters. So she's not globe-trotting like her brother, but she is facing social issues and physical dangers and racism and things like that. How do we get Blackjack out there? How do we get stories about women and you know, Black women and women of color? How do we get this material out there to a larger audience? What do you think are some of the ways that you should be pushing this property and whatever else you guys are working on?
Well, I mean, I think we're already kind of doing it. I just think we need to redouble our efforts.
Hang on 1 second. Eric, can you turn the sound down a little bit because you're echoing?
I'm echoing?
Yeah, I think you're the only one of us. I have earphones on.
I don't have earphones on. Should I try to get mine?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hearing echoing a lot. So it's okay. So go ahead, John. Try again.
Hi. Test. How does that sound?
Well, it's still there, but it's a little less. Go ahead. You were saying?
Okay, well, I can turn down my.
Oh no, I know. Hang on. I got it. I forgot. I'm in control. I can affect the horizontal and the video. There we go. So go ahead, John.
You're such a geek. Anyway,
loving it.
Yeah, I know. So no. So what I was saying is that I think we're already doing it. I think that, you know, being consistent and putting out the work, of course. I mean, it's very difficult, but you've successfully started to build a coalition of people who are dedicated to building the property, you know, which I think we should do a lot more of as far as like just coalition building within the ranks of our comrades. You know, I honestly think that a lot of the mainstream spaces are not necessarily constructed for us, you know, and so I think like creating our own coalitions is a really good way to go. Something I've been kind of focused on, as you know, I helped co-founded the two large Black comic book conventions that are happening in January on either coast. So that's one particular. Oh, sorry, the Black Comic Art Festival, which is in San Francisco, which is on MLK Day in San Francisco, and of course the Schaumburg Black Comic Book Festival, which is happening on the 13th and 14th in Harlem, New York. But you know, I think that having those types of spaces where we can actually empower ourselves economically, but also create coalitions and systems to actually get the work out is important. As you're doing now, where you're doing like extensions of like the world building, I think is very important as well. Doing transmedia projects, I think, is also important, which you're already doing, you know. So I think what it is just kind of redoubling the efforts that we're already. It's going to be really tough. I mean, because we don't have the deep pockets of, say, a Marvel or DC or what have you. But with a lot of collaboration, I think we can pull it out. I almost had this idea, and I don't know if we could pull it off, or if like, but you know how like back in the day. And not to reference to what we're doing, you know, as being like being enslaved, but you ever read about like how slave families would save up their money and actually like buy each other's relatives out of slavery little by little. Mm-hmm. I actually had this idea, like, you know, doing some kind of co-op where everybody throws in money to help publish each other's projects, you know, little by little, just because in succession. I don't know how that would work out, but, you know, we have to figure out a way to support each other. You know, one of the things that I was thinking about with these conventions, because this is actually I think it's the third convention I've helped co-found, and then of course there's a couple other events.
Not to mention the exhibitions that you've also.
Right. I mean, and the books. I mean, so it's a way, what I want to try to do, and something I've been trying to create with other, you know, organizers, is what I call the cosmic chitlin circuit. You know, I mean, to borrow from that, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's funny.
I hear you. I just have to laugh. Use certain terms. That's all.
Yeah, no, because that's what they called it. And so it's like, you know, again, even hip hop used the chitlin circuit. Before hip hop blew up, it was just the black cities. It was a black music. It was just like what they call race music. I think we make race comics. I know I do. You know, I'm like, you know, I make comics about black people. You know, and I want to get those particular, you know, images to the folk that I'm making the work about. So I think that that's part of the mission, and I think that we're already doing it. We just need to redouble our efforts, because it's, you know, we're used to working really hard though. We're sturdy people. Yeah. We're sturdy folk. You know, we're hardy. So,
yeah, that's funny. I'm often saying that we Simmonses are a hardy breed. So
yeah, hardy breed, exactly. So,
I hear you. Tim?
Yes.
Did you want to add anything? I was asking, you know, what do you think we need to do to move forward? Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
You like?
Well, that's a perfect segue into my thing. All of us are overcommitted.
Yes.
That was not a term that I used till I've been. One of my colleagues basically has used the term, and he is correct. We're all overcommitted. And the next few years are going to be one of a certain amount of labor pain. And by the way of that, what I mean is it is now easier than ever to produce, manufacture, and distribute work. It's easier. There are more avenues than ever before. You do not always have to go through the traditional brick and mortar comic book system. You can go to traditional publishing. You can go through the web. You can go direct drop ship with digital printers like Lightning Source. There's so many venues out there where you could print, you could and sell your stuff. You can sell your stuff through libraries. All these things are open. These are things that were not available to I was about to say prisoners, but to publishers of not too long ago. And it is my belief that the only way we're going to get through this process is one has to simply sit down and do the work. And it's going to be pain, and it's going to be tough working the whole time. But that is what we're going to have to do. And there's no magic to it, because all the tools are available to us to release the work. You don't need to ask permission. You know, you don't need the blessing of an editor or a publisher or even a blogger. You don't need any of that. You can just do it. And that's a wonderful, wonderful spot for all of us. And I think with Blackjack, trying to get him out to the general public, it's just a matter of being at peace, accepting your lot in life, and busting your behind is really it. I hate to say it that way. I wish there was a more a beautiful way to do it, but that's really it. We're all here. This is our time. And particularly in the world we're in now, generally, when you have environments that come up like this, it means that the people of color or artists tend to produce more. They produce harder. And that's what's happening.
Yeah, I want to say thank you, Tim. Thank you. And thank you, John. And Eric, I'll give you a second. I'll give you a moment to also chime in if you wish. I just want to take a quick moment. We're past the hour, and I'm okay with staying on another few minutes. I don't want anybody here to feel trapped. But the other thing I wanted to say is I just want to acknowledge the people who weren't able to join us tonight, and among them, Stephen Harris, who I have sent multiple invites to, but I guess just maybe some sort of a browser problem or email problem, or he might even be, caught up in the middle of something. Jamal, who unfortunately could not make it here, but for a very good reason. And also my friend David Colley. And I just want to take a second to mention David, or actually a minute. David became aware of Blackjack. Oh, it's got to be right around the same time I first started putting out the book. So we're talking the late 1990s. David lives in England, and he at the time was, I guess the best way to describe him is he was an agent for the video game industry. And he spent years trying to get Blackjack a video game deal. And he would get the various people interested, and it would always come down to the wallet. It would always come down to the people with the money never cross the line. Everybody else gets enthusiastic about it. I said to David the other day, and I say it again now for the record, David, like you guys, has been, a part of this forward motion mission for all these years, and even to this day, he is still out there actively pursuing foreign rights deals or certain other types of media deals for this property. So a lot of it is again, people who believe in the property, who enjoy the stories, who enjoy the character, which was always meant to be universal. I wanted to create a hero who's black for a large audience. I wanted everybody, or at least as many people as possible, to be able to enjoy this. And I've been blessed with being able to work with talented people like yourselves to make it happen. And what Tim is saying, what John is saying is absolutely right. You not only build up your marketplace, but you build up your fan base, your audience base. You build up also your support system. You build up the team, the army, if you will, the squad, the knights. You build them up and you pull them from wherever they're willing to come. And I, again, Walden, David, Liz Sheehan, Bill McKay, all of these people, yourself, Gray, who's not here, a few others, Chris Batista, all of these are really good people who get it. And so, I just want to say thank you. And David and Stephen, I'm sorry you're not here at the moment. I believe me, first chance I get to do a show with you guys, I will. So, Eric,
Yes.
what would you like to say, if anything? You brilliant.
For some, I think your audio just blanked out for me, but
I told you brilliant.
Oh wow, okay, thank you. I think as artists and us as who's here? It's me, Alex, Tim, and John. Us as black men, I'm just gonna put it out there. Us as black men, we've gotta be. It's our responsibility at this point to take this stuff forward. Like Tim said, it's we don't have to wait for other people to give us a pass to put this stuff out. Again, the work has to be done. We've been given the mission to do it. It's in our hands. It's got to be done. And as artists and creative people, it's also on our shoulders to be able to use our artwork to counteract some of the stuff that's already out there, whether it's perpetrated by media or whoever else. But the same way that other people have used media to present negative images of us, it's in our hands and power to use our artwork as a weapon to counteract those things. And now we've seen what's we see what's coming. We don't know to the extent of how crazy things are going to get just yet, but we know it's coming. So it's imperative that we stand together and again use the artwork as it's like in a war, which is really what we are, whether you want to realize it or not. Mm-hmm. We're in a war, and a war has to be fought on different planes. You've got soldiers, you've got strategists, you've got creative people who come up with the other elements of that. So we all have to recognize and decide on what our role is going to be in helping us move forward as a people. And you know, there are times like after the election, the day after the election, you know, I'm sure we were all in a daze. And at one point I was sitting at my desk, not working because I couldn't get into that headspace. But, you know, I found myself questioning myself for a couple of minutes, saying like, man, you know, I'm drawing comic books, and how does that help? You know, where does that fit into the larger scope of what's happening? But I had to like throw that bit of doubt out of my head, because you know, we've got to tell our stories. And as you know, as artists, we can be visual journalists in this time. Tim has already started doing that, you know, when with the project that he took on during the election campaigning and all that stuff. So again, it's like we've got a lot that we can do, and we've got a lot to do, and you know, there's a lot that we're still going to have to do, but I have no doubt that it can be done.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, I agree with you in so many ways. And I think one of the things you said that's really, really important, and I won't assume I know exactly how you mean it, but I know what I got from it, is when you said that we have to decide what aspect of this struggle we're going to take on, what arena or what area, what part of the plan we can be the most effective in. And, you know, to me, part of my battle has always been, you know, and I thank my mom for this, is really trying not to buy into what we can't do. You know, it was, she never told me we can't because, you know, because of our skin color or our financial situation or whatever. And yeah, you know, you grow up understanding you're broke or poor or whatever, you get that. But somewhere in the back of your head, there's always this, yeah, but if I just do this, if I just do that. And I think, you know, we have to recognize that, yeah, there's a struggle. You know, I'll quote a white guy by saying, Basil Rathbone, in one of the old Sherlock Holmes films, says, there's an east wind coming. And he was predicting, you know, World War II, a major part of World War II was going to hit Britain. But the reality is there's an east wind blowing, and it is bitter, and it is definitely going to take its toll. But it doesn't mean that we can't deal with it. It doesn't mean that we as people of color or black people or any of the other folks that are caught up in this struggle can't do something. And it's just a matter of A, deciding what you want to do, and B, having other people not tell you, no, don't do that, do this. No, but I don't do that, I do this. This is what I want to do to be a part of it. So, you know, like I just showed that scene from the Tarzan Blackjack team up. I mean, you know, think about that. Think about you and I working on that. I mean, really, you know, and then the scene itself, you know, that speaks to something. Don McGregor, who wrote the Black Panther for a number of years, received a letter from a man who was in South Africa, a black man who'd been in prison in South Africa for years. And when he finally wrote to Don, he talked about how much, when he could get his hands on that comic, how much that meant to him. Seeing that character, those stories, how much they helped him deal with that. So we don't know how powerful what we do can be in someone's life. And the last thing I'll say about that, having nothing to do with race, but again, with the power of comics and comic art, a dear friend of mine, I won't use her name because I don't have her permission, but a dear friend of mine, her son passed away from cancer just a year or so ago. And in his last days on this earth, this really wonderful, darling human being was in a great deal of pain. And one of the things that we did, some artists, friends of mine, people from different backgrounds and colors, this guy loved the Power Rangers characters. So I got different artists. I just asked, and they did it. They each did drawings. And I scanned them and I sent them to him. And she pinned them up along the walls around his bed. And this is what made him smile and made him know that people cared about him. And to see his favorite character surrounding him in his last hours. And one of the artists who doesn't know this man, he only knew someone asked, and he did. He found out about this later, and he said, oh my God, I never thought that what I do could ever mean so much in somebody's life. So we don't always get how what we do can affect people. So A is part of recognizing that we do what we do because we're blessed with that ability. We're blessed with the desire, the will, the compassion, the desire to do it. And then we just try and do our absolute best. And again, like you said, Eric, John, and Tim, we choose what we want to stand for. We choose who we want to defend, who we want to help, what we believe in, and then we just go forward. And we deal with whatever comes at us. And for me, Blackjack is a lot about that in a lot of ways. And I hope that, not only the stories that I write, but the other stories that Chris and some of the other people are starting to work on, and the artwork that you guys have brought to the table, I just hope that the audience begins to really embrace more and more what we're trying to do and what we're saying here as people, and as artists. Okay, guys, it's 9:23, and I promised I wouldn't keep you much longer, and I have anyway. So anybody, please take a moment to tell folks what it is you're doing, so you can point them towards your website or project or an appearance or whatever. So let's start with Eric. I'm going to move left to right on my screen. Eric, what are you up to? What do you want to talk about? What do you want to promote?
Well, I just wanted to let you know, Alex, working with you on Blackjack has kept me off the stripper pole. I appreciate that.
That's a shame. That's a loss.
That is an image I will do everything I can not to hold on to.
I appreciate that. For real, I just finished a project that I did with writer Ivan Brandon. It was part of an exhibit out at California University of California, their Santa Cruz campus. It was a project called Seeking the Black Panther, and it was a fictionalized telling of how the Black Panther Party may have influenced the creation of the Black Panther character. So if I haven't sent you a copy of the finished artwork, Alex, I'll send that to you, and to you also, Tim.
But
I just got finished doing that. What's that?
But not John.
No,
because I know I already sent it to him.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, please do send Eric, and I will definitely put, if you want, I'll put a link or whatever up on Blackjack Adventures Facebook page and anywhere else, because I love what you do and I want to get the word out there.
Yeah.
And do you have a website, anything you want to throw up there, let people know about, or I can add to the mix later, because we are being videoed.
I'm still not there yet.
Okay. I don't want you to say later, why didn't you let me, I don't want any of that. Right?
It's all good.
Okay, brother. Thank you so much. John?
Let's see. So
right? It's on the list.
Oh, that's good. No, seriously, I had to write stuff down because I will forget. You know what I'm saying? So, well, the first thing is my graphic novel, Blue Hand Mojo, the first of hopefully many from Rosarian Publishing, is coming out in March. That's really cool. Stacey Robinson and myself finished illustrating. I don't know if you guys seen those for beginners books, like philosophy for beginners, Black history for beginners, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. So we did a For Beginners book based off the prison industrial complex, written by James Braxton Peterson, and with a foreword by Michael Eric Dyson. And that was we did over the summer. And of course, we're launching Kindred, the Octavia Butler graphic novel, which I have actually, sorry, excuse me. Got like an advanced copy of Kindred right there, hardcover joint. That's dropping it's January 10th. And we'll be launching at the Schomburg event.
Oh, good.
Yeah. And so we'll be, that's gonna be really cool because it comes out on the 10th. The show is the 13th. So and the publisher's in New York, so we'll have it there, and on both coasts. So we're gonna send it out west too. I'm Alfonso Jones. Huh?
Because you bi-coastal like that.
I'm trying to be bi-coastals.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So let's see. So another project that I'm doing with Stacey Robinson and Tony Medina for Lee and Low Books is I'm doing the finishes on this book called I Am Alfonso Jones. It's a graphic novel. It's sort of a Black Lives Matter ghost story, just kind of like that's my elevator pitch. But it's really great story. Tony Medina is an amazing writer. And Stacey's doing like the pencils on it. I'm doing like the inks and tones on it because it's a grayscale book. Box of Bones, which is a ongoing. We've been working on it for like 3 years. Like you say, it's the elevator pitch for that is like Afrocentric Hellraiser. You know. Okay. Yeah, so if you can imagine, but instead of like a box to hell, it's like unchecked black rage in a box. So I'm working with a team of artists and Ayize Jama Everett, and we've been kind of cobbling little by little, getting people to help us out over the years to put this coming together. And last thing is I'm going to be moving from Buffalo to Cambridge because I have a fellowship at Harvard with the Nasir Jones Hip Hop Fellowship, and it's with the Hip Hop Archive there. And then we're going to be making our final jump to Riverside, California, and I'll start teaching at University of California, Riverside in the fall. So that's.
I'm sorry, you're just not doing enough, John. Really?
Yeah, I know, right? So I don't know. I needed one. What was the thing I had before we? Oh yeah, nap. That's right. I need to know.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's the first one I had this decade. Yeah.
Oh my God. Anyway, yeah. So
okay.
That's that. That's what I'm doing.
Beautiful. Well, again, you will send me a website link or anything that you want me to put up either under this video, which will be available for people who missed it tonight, as well as I'll put it up on the website on the Facebook pages as well. So please, anything that you want me to link up to, send that to me, and I'll make that happen.
I'll put it in the chat.
Timothy,
yeah,
it's your turn. I can't hear you. Hang on. Wait. Try it now.
I'm unmuted, I believe now.
Yes. Sorry about that, old boy.
All right, no problem. I am so freaking busy, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, you don't expect me to feel sorry for you.
Yeah, I know it's your fault. So as a result of having done Blackjack and Maddie's Rocket, this has now catapulted me into doing a bunch of different things. The project I have coming out very shortly is Maddie's Rocket 3, which I showed a little bit of that at the beginning of the show. I have about another 2 weeks of work on it. That will be out. It'll be sent to the printer before the end of this month, and you should be able to buy it online directly off the dieselfunkstore.com site, which is being revamped now. So you'll be able to buy comics directly off the dieselfunk.com site. You'll be able to buy T-shirts and posters. So this is the year. I've spent a lot of time over the last 2 years basically building my personal brand. And now it's time to monetize and to commercialize all of the different products I have. Additionally, in about 2 weeks, I think, should be a story in the New York Times coming out featuring myself, this career expose interview they did. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm also working on a comic story which will be published concurrently with the article for the New York Times on Afrofuturism. I'm working on Prison City with David Walker. Don't worry, David, I'm working. I built the entire city in 3D, man. Relax.
Yeah, because David's been calling me all through this. Well, how can that man be talking to you? You should be working.
Yeah, no, I'm working, man. I'm working on multiple projects. So I'm doing that, and also working with brother John Jennings on Box of Bones. I'm doing the origin story of Box of Bones, so I have to finish building the slave ship in 3D so I can put my cameras in and make it look like a movie. In January, I'll be working for the Nas Fellowship with John on Exquisite Corpse and a Blues Man with Stuart Jaffe and John Jennings. Also, let's see, what else? What the hell else?
People be taking notes here.
Yeah, and also the Diesel Funk Show. Final thing, Diesel Funk Show. And by the way, Eric Battle, can you hear me?
Hang on. I muted him. Hold on.
Okay, Eric Battle, can you hear me?
Yes. Now I have a voice, thanks to Alex.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much for mentioning the work that my brother and I are doing with the Diesel Funk Show. That is another project that was not planned. It just happened. And that is something where my brother and I are basically doing I think we're providing a public service. We're doing a documentary service through blogging. And we have finished all of season 1 and it's being edited now. And we're halfway through season 2. We will be at the Schaumburg Black Comic Book Day with the Diesel Funk Show, shooting 2 episodes. And you can go to dieselfunkshow.com to see what we're doing. And I am, there's only one person more overcommitted than I am, and that's John Jennings. That's it. But other than that, I'm trying to catch up with him. But I seriously, I got to slow down now. I got to start working out.
We got to take care of ourselves.
You got to start working out, man. You got to start working out. You got to get your health together.
Yeah, you're gonna do the Jamal Igle thing, which I'm gonna just real quick.
Popcorn.
There's Jamal. There's Jamal stuff right there. Jamal, that's one of the pages. And I think Walden actually inked this, but this is from Blackjack Blood and Honor. It's one of the cliffhangers from that book, which I so loved and adored and had a great time working on. But that's Jamal Igle's work there, and like I said, I think that's Walden's work over him. But yeah, Jamal, thank you for everything you've done. You know, little brother, you know, it's you and me against the world. And I know you would have been here tonight if you could have. I'm going to just quickly say what I'm working on as I also show other people's work as well. Here, by the way, those of you who watched Tim put together the tone and everything, here's one of the finished pages that he did. That's page 1 of Eric Battle's story, the artwork that he did for the Mary Day story, which I'm still trying to, got a fundraiser for Mary. Go to my Blackjack Adventures page and look at that. So I'm working on several stories for Mary. I've written 2 prose novella stories, and then we have this 6-page illustrated story. And if the gods are kind, I'm going to have another story that she's in, illustrated by spring, so that on June 1st, my birthday, I can release a book of stories just about Mary, which I've been trying to do for months now. And, you know, everybody stay with me because it'll happen somehow, some way. The next what I have here, hold on here, is I'm not quite sure how all this works, but I'm going to share yet another one, which is, because we want to make sure that, you know, Blackjack, There Came a Dark Hunter. That was what Tim, that's the cover for Tim's book, for that graphic novel that Tim did. And Tim, how long was it? A year?
No, 2 years.
About 2 years?
Yeah, it was first it was going to be a year because I did one comic. Then we both went crazy and decided to expand into a graphic novel.
Yeah, so there you go. So this is an anthology of 3 beautiful stories. All of them, 2 of them are fully digitally painted. The third one has spot illustrations, but it's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous book, and it's well worth whatever Amazon or anybody else asks you to pay for. So do that. I also want to just quickly again recognize and say thank you, Stephen Harris, who could not make it with us here tonight, but this is some of Stephen's work for a Blackjack story I'm working on, which is Death is the Perfect Man. And that's the story where Aaron is bodyguarding against an assassin who just does not seem stoppable. So I'm looking forward to that one coming out in the spring or summer of 2017.
Alex.
Yes?
That I'm looking at Steven's piece, and it's a beautiful piece. Is that Mike Pence behind Aaron Day?
I hope not.
What the hell, man?
Well,
I mean, popcorn,
intended
man.
to be.
Popcorn.
Now that you bring it up. Oh, God. Oh, I'm never going to be able to look at this cover the same way.
Horrible. That's horrible.
Oh, wow. That's
Beautiful.
thank you. Look,
That does look like Mike Pence, man.
It does.
It does, actually.
it does. Ouch. Okay, sometimes life does that. Also, other things that I'm working on. Let me just keep going because, again, I know folks want to get out of here. Geez. Okay, so one more share. This is going to be, I just had another book come out. And this is The Art of Making Comics. A lot of people don't know that I work with children. I do a lot of work with young people. When I say children, we're talking about everything from first grade to college. I do a lot of work with them. I do workshops in creating comics. I work with people who are in incarcerated facilities. I work in schools and things like that. And so I finally took all these years of doing the workshops and I put them into a nice basic overall book called The Art of Making Comics, which is also now available on Amazon. But that just came out a week ago, and I was at the New Jersey Comic Expo last weekend, I believe, and yeah, it was the weekend before last, and it got a lot of good response. So I'm hoping that this book will be, become really sort of start to take off. Certainly, it will be with me at Black Comic Book Day.
How much does this retail for?
It retails from Amazon for $10 as a black and white hard copy book, or for
$6.
Of $6 or something like that. I have to look.
I'm looking at it right now. $6.
Will you have this with you at Black Comic Book Day?
Oh, absolutely. I will have.
That's why I'm going to buy mine. I want mine signed. That's
and folks who want to get the download, the Kindle version is in color.
I have a question about this book. Can this book be used in classrooms?
Yes, absolutely. As a matter of fact,
so then I will be teaching a comic book class, I believe, very shortly. And we will see about trying to see if we can get it to use as a textbook in the class.
You know what? I love you. I love you. This is what we were all talking about. I just spoke at the New York City Library Conference a couple of weeks ago and got a really good reaction from this from several schools. So we're going to see how this begins to blossom. But that's another one of my projects. And then I've been working with, and the last thing I will say here, where is it? It's not out there. Here it is. I mentioned that I was working with Chris Ryan, who is a buddy of mine from day one. He's been working on stuff with Blackjack for me for years. He started out as helping with the PR work on it, and then he did one of the first. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Hang on here. Let's stop that. He did one of the first comic strips on it, and now we've got several novellas or short stories in what's called the Blackjack Rapid Read series, and the covers are by the gentleman who has been just giving us great artwork in development tonight, Tim Fielder. So that's the first one, which you can't see the cover, is a free download called Revolt of the Red Star, and then behind that is Blackjack Ransom for a Dead King. And then this one here is Blackjack Driven. And each one of them has some sort of historical tidbit or nut in it that really is a little gem of information that people might not have known about or thought about, because that's part of what we enjoy doing. I certainly enjoy doing is bringing some part of history forward or commenting on it through some of these action adventure stories. So I will be, by the way, this coming weekend, December 3rd and 4th, I will be at the Northeast Comic-Con in Massachusetts, just outside of Boston. Be there for 2 days, signing and selling and teaching workshops and all that good stuff. And Sunday, I will also, just before the con starts, be doing an online Google Hangout with a class of students in India, because that's one of the things that I do through my Kids Comic-Con Comics Club International, is I connect kids from different parts of the world on a collaborative comic book experience, learning how to make their own characters and sometimes working together, because I'm tired of kids learning about other races, religions, and cultures through negative press. So that's me. So, we will all continue to, I think, be associated, be friends, collaborate, support one another. Thank you again for 25 years of backing me up on Blackjack, and here's to another 25.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Take
Thank
care.
you.
Good night.
All right, you guys. See you guys soon.
And good night, folks. Thank you for joining us. And if you're watching the video, thank you for doing that. Now get out there and buy Blackjack. Okay. Bye, everybody.
All right. Have a great one.
Bye.